Okay, let's talk about one of the most famous and maybe most misunderstood predators on the planet. When you think of the African savanna, you probably picture a lion, right? Well, today, we're diving into an animal that's just as successful, way more complex, and almost totally misrepresented: the spotted hyena.
Come on, be honest. When I say hyena, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Probably that cackling, cowardly scavenger from the Lion King, skulking in the shadows. But what if I told you that pretty much everything we think we know about them is just plain wrong? Just look at this. This isn't some lowly scavenger waiting for scraps. This is a powerful hunter in the middle of a takedown. This is the real spotted hyena, one of the most efficient and formidable predators in all of Africa. So let's just go ahead and rewrite the entire story of this incredible animal.
So, first things first, we have to get their family tree straight, because right off the bat, most people get this wrong.
It's totally understandable why you'd think there's some kind of wild dog. I mean, they look like it. But believe it or not, genetically they aren't canids at all. They actually belong to the Filiformia suborder, which is the cat-like branch of carnivores. That makes them closer cousins to cats, mongooses, and civets than they are to any dog or bear. Wild, right? All right, so now we know they're basically big, weird cats. Let's tackle the biggest myth of all, this idea that hyenas are just nature's lazy cleanup crew.
95%. Let that number sink in for a second. According to years and years of research, spotted hyenas hunt and kill up to 95% of their own food. They aren't primarily scavengers. They are relentless, intelligent, and seriously effective hunters.
And their real superpower? It's their skull and jaws. They are evolutionary marvels, literally built for crushing bone. They have one of the most powerful bite forces in the animal kingdom, strong enough to crack open the massive leg bone of a giraffe to get to the marrow inside. And just think about this quote for a moment. Less than 30 minutes. The competition at a kill site is so fierce, they have evolved to devour everything, the meat, the organs, even the bones, at an incredible speed. Absolutely nothing is wasted. Okay, so they're brilliant, cat-like, apex predators. But if you think that's surprising, we're just getting started. Their biology and their society are about to get even stranger because we're entering a world that completely flips the script on how mammals are supposed to work. You know, in almost every mammal species we can think of, the males are bigger, they're more aggressive, they're the dominant ones. But in the world of the spotted hyena, nope, forget all that. The females are about 10% larger than the males, they are way more aggressive, and they are socially dominant over every single male in the clan. It's a true matriarchy. And this isn't a casual thing. It is a brutally rigid hierarchy. The highest-ranking females are at the absolute top. Their cubs inherit their mom's rank, basically becoming little princes and princesses right below her. And any males that try to join the clan from the outside, they start at the very, very bottom of the social ladder. In this world, your rank determines everything, especially who gets to eat first.
So, a female-dominated society is pretty unusual. But the physical anatomy that goes along with it, well, it's one of the most extreme and fascinating things you will ever see in the entire animal kingdom.
Yes, you are seeing that correctly. The female spotted hyena's clitoris is so incredibly elongated that it forms what's called a pseudopenis. It's so anatomically similar to the male's organ that for hundreds of years, scientists actually thought hyenas were hermaphrodites. And get this, she urinates, mates, and somehow gives birth all through this single canal. It's absolutely mind-boggling.
So this radical biology, it's the foundation for a social world that is every bit as radical. In fact, their society is so complex that scientists don't even compare them to other carnivores like wolves or lions. They compare them to primates. You see, a hyena clan can have up to 130 members, but you almost never see them all together at once. Instead, they live in what's called a fission-fusion society. The big clan is always splitting apart into smaller groups to go hunting or patrol their territory and then merging back together later. This kind of fluid social life requires some serious brain power to keep track of.
I think this quote from the research just says it all. The best comparison for how a hyena clan works isn't a wolf pack. It's the complex female-led troops of monkeys, like baboons. That's who they're really like on a social level.
And to live in this world, a hyena has to be a social genius. They recognize dozens of other individuals. They don't just know who their allies are, they know who their allies' allies are. They have to constantly track this complex, ever-shifting social hierarchy and make strategic decisions. It's one of the best examples we have of the social brain hypothesis, the idea that living in a complex society is one of the biggest drivers for the evolution of intelligence.
And just like with primates, all this social intelligence isn't just pure instinct, it's learned. Young hyenas have a really long childhood, staying with their moms for up to 2 years, and during that time, they're not just getting milk, they're getting an education. They're learning the incredibly complicated social rules of their clan, which is absolutely essential for their survival. So, why does all this matter? I mean, who cares about this one super weird animal? Well, it turns out, understanding the hyena is incredibly important. Because when you look at them, the spotted hyena seems to break almost every fundamental rule we have for what a mammal is supposed to be, how it's supposed to act, and how its society is supposed to be structured. And that's exactly why they are so crucial to science. By studying the exception, the one outlier that seems to shatter all the rules, we actually get a much deeper insight into the forces that created those rules in the first place.
Really, the story of the spotted hyena is just a powerful reminder that the natural world is almost always more complex, more bizarre, and more amazing than our simple stereotypes allow. It makes you wonder, right? If we got an animal this famous so wrong for so long, what else are we completely missing?